Live from Southern Colorado's Alert Station, KKTV 11 News starts right now.
Thanks for sticking with us for 11 News at 5:30. I'm Aaron Vitatoe. Blake is off today. We're going to start right away with this 11 News alert. Many of you have called our newsroom about a massive plume of smoke over here. There's 2-alarm fire putting out the smoke. This is at Nevada in Fillmore earlier today. Here's some pictures we're going to show you from our crew on scene earlier. You can see the flames coming from that building. Springs firefighters say it all began at a storage facility for building material, hence all that smoke put out in the area. Luckily, though, no injuries have been reported so far. Let's get right out to 11 News reporter Damian Bertonic, who's on scene. And Damian, firefighters say they're looking into whether the air nearby is toxic because of all that smoke.
Yeah, Aaron, right now the fire department is saying there are no breathing hazards to be worried about, as well as no air hazards to be worried about. Now, this all occurred on Century and 4th Street here in Colorado Springs outside the Beacon Projects building. Fire department, fire officials got here around 2:45, and when they arrived, they saw huge plumes of black smoke caused by what they say were styrofoam pallets. And when you look behind me, you can see they are still working on figuring out everything about this fire, assessing the cause of the fire, as well as putting it out completely. Now, they say the bulk of it is contained, but they're saying there's still some work to be done. Now, they received over 50 calls about this fire ultimately when they arrived, and then when they arrived again, they saw styrofoam pallets of it on fire. Right now, they're still trying to assess the overall cause, but they know that, hey, there's some good news here. No other buildings were affected in this fire. The Beacon Projects building wasn't affected in this fire. There was also no injuries in this fire, and again, the air around the area is safe, so no breathing hazards at this time. Now, right now, there are still 51 fire department members on scene. They're waiting for a heavy materials vehicle to arrive so they can not only determine the cause of the fire, but also eliminate any potential fire hazards that could reignite what was here today and what happened today. Now, this is a developing situation. There's still plenty of information we're going to find out, so we're going to continue to track this story. We're going to follow all the developments and update you tonight at 10, as well as throughout this weekend and into early next week. But for now, in Colorado,
and I'm 11 News at 10. Thank you. Now let's take a look at our weather. It's meteorologist Josephine Saige. It was pretty warm. You know, it was fun to have summer in. I was a fan of Phineas and Ferb.
I wouldn't say summer.
Winter. This is like wummer.
Wummer?
Winter and summer. Or summer and winter.
I think spring, maybe.
Spring.
A little
it was
more.
Definitely warm.
It was warm. We broke the record in Pueblo today.
Yes, we did.
But we're cooling off into the 20s tonight. I want to take us outside. This is the Cheyenne Mountain camera, 39 degrees. Now, take a note at our humidity here, 57%, so feels a little bit cooler. And our humidity is going to play a factor as we get into our overnight hours, especially across our plains, as fog is going to develop. That means some low visibility shifting in. Over the Pueblo Riverwalk, a little bit warmer, 47. We do cool off into the 20s tonight. Like I mentioned, I have us at 27 in the Springs, 24 for Pueblo, 27 for Canyon City as well, and 30 for Woodland Park. These are still about 10 degrees above what we're typically used to this time of year. Some cloud cover sticks around, and again, I mentioned across our plains, some fog possible. Highs tomorrow as we look into our Sunday, we're looking at 55 for Colorado Springs, 51 for Pueblo, even some 60s through Monument and Denver. I've actually gone ahead and dropped these temperatures just a few degrees compared to our last forecast, and even across the plains, we'll see some 40s, but we'll heat up, and that fog that's going to linger across our plains into the early morning hours will burn off as we warm up to be fairly seasonal. Again, a little bit further east. Looking ahead into next week, critical fire danger returns with plenty of sunshine and dry time. All those details are coming up.
Josephine, we'll see you soon. Thank you. Colorado Springs police are investigating a bank robbery along South Nevada. They say it happened just after 10 this morning. They tell us a man entered the bank and demanded money from a teller. They don't have a lot of information they're able to provide. They didn't give a description, nor say where the man was heading when they left, or say if there are any arrests that have been made so far, but we are, of course, keeping an eye on this. We'll let you know if we get any updates. We now know that a third town leader in Palmer Lake has resigned. Yesterday, the town announced that trustee Michael Boyett is stepping down after a meeting on Thursday. Trustee Tim Caves and town attorney Scott Krob also announced their resignations. They come in the midst of controversy over a proposed Buc-ee's near Palmer Lake. The trustees voted to get a judge's input on whether the proposed annexation for the land for the potential project needs to be approved by voters first or after the trustees decide whether to approve or deny the proposal. Tomorrow marks the first night of Hanukkah, And a local temple is inviting you to participate in a candle lighting ceremony. Temple Shalom is hosting the ceremony. It's near the Olympic and Paralympic Training Center near downtown Colorado Springs. The ceremony starts at 6 tomorrow evening, and the temple says everyone attending is encouraged to bring their own Hanukkah menorah to fill the room with light. This morning, the community said thank you to local heroes who are no longer with us. Today is National Wreaths Across America Day, and 11 News was there at Evergreen Cemetery where the holiday wreaths were placed upon hundreds of veterans' graves.
It is so important. It's one of those things that it also kind of makes you look forward to when that time comes for you, and remembering that when we remember the people that came before us, that gives an example for those that come before us that hopefully we're not forgotten as well.
Such an important tradition for Southern Colorado. The money to pay for the wreaths was raised in part by the local VFW and American Legion posts. A big project in downtown Colorado Springs is now one step closer to completion. City of Colorado Springs announced that they reopened Tejon between Pikes Peak and Kiowa. Block 1 of this project, which was between Colorado and Pikes Peak, was completed earlier this year. The city says both blocks now have wider sidewalks, expanded outdoor dining areas, upgrades to lighting, new trees, and more. I know a lot of businesses in the area are happy to see that. Another improvement is added safety to pedestrians on the sidewalk.
There used to be a planter right where I'm standing, and instead we have a wide open area that could be useful for crowds and pedestrians to stand on during events like the parade we just had.
The city says their crews have paused all work for the winter. They're expected to be back at it again in the spring to complete all of the finishing touches. President Trump is responding after multiple Americans were killed in an attack in Syria. Who the president believes is responsible for the attack, just ahead.
The most wonderful time.
You're watching KKTV 11 News.
Welcome back. 2 U.S. Army soldiers and a U.S. interpreter were killed today in an attack in Syria, and President Trump has vowed to retaliate. Willie James Hinman has the details.
Pentagon officials say 2 U.S. Army soldiers and a U.S. interpreter were killed Saturday in an attack in Syria.
So we mourn the loss of 3 great patriots in Syria. You know how it happened. It was an ambush, terrible.
3 other U.S. personnel were wounded in the attack. The Pentagon says they were all part of a joint counter-terror operation with Syrian forces. No group has claimed responsibility for the killings, but President Trump said on Saturday he believes ISIS was behind the attack.
But this was an ISIS attack on us and Syria. And again, we mourn the loss and we pray for them and their parents and their loved ones.
U.S. Central Command said the gunman was engaged and killed. A Syrian government spokesperson said it had issued intelligence warnings to the U.S. prior to the attacks about a possible ISIS attack in the region. The U.S. has hundreds of troops deployed in eastern Syria as part of a coalition to fight against ISIS. The designated terror group was defeated in 2019, but still has sleeper cells within the country that carry out deadly attacks.
We will retaliate.
In a post on social media, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reiterated the White House's resolve to crack down on those targeting Americans, writing, "If you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you, and ruthlessly kill you." Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
The federal appeals court is blocking testimony planned for next week in a probe looking into the Trump administration's deportation flights. The D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals has temporarily put a hold on a federal judge's order requiring a top Justice Department lawyer and a whistleblower to testify. The probe centers on why the Trump administration continued deportation flights earlier this year despite a judge's order to stop them. The divided appeals court says it's freezing the testimony to consider a larger government request to end the contempt proceedings altogether. And a federal judge has denied prosecutors from accessing key evidence in the James Comey case. The judge has ordered investigators to immediately return electronic data they accessed from Comey's lawyer. Investigators first gathered that evidence more than 5 years ago during a leak investigation that resulted in no charges. The judge claimed the government violated the lawyer's right to privacy. We're back after this.
Holiday season, you can count on King Soopers.
Live From your weather alert leader, you're watching KKTV 11 News.
Well, our climate reports just got issued here for southern Colorado by the National Weather Service, and we are seeing that afternoon high today in Colorado Springs recorded at 66, so 12 degrees above what we're typically used to this time of year. Still shy of the record. That's not the case for Pueblo. You broke a record today. Previous record set back in 1988 and 2010 of 73 was broken today, and we saw 74 this afternoon in Pueblo. So pretty toasty day. We will cool off into tomorrow, but still staying quite mild. We're alerting you first to that continuing not only just for your Sunday, but also into next week with plenty of sunshine. Tonight, especially for our planes, something we're watching is fog, dense fog that is actually going to hinder visibility. Already seeing fog shift in over Burlington and our northeastern Colorado communities, and our humidity is slowly improving across our plains. Currently visibility in Burlington at 1 mile, watching that again in the northeastern Colorado communities as well. But as things continue to shift in these later hours, likely to see some low visibility through Lamar, Springfield, La Junta, Rocky Ford area as well, and even Lyman. We might see some fog here through the Palmer Divide and over the I-25 corridor. Still will linger into tomorrow morning as well for some of us. Lows though here on our Saturday looking to be 27 for the Springs, 24 for Pueblo, low 20s and teens across our plains, so a tad bit cooler as we look into the more rural areas. Highs tomorrow a little bit cooler than even what we were forecasting a couple days ago. I've dropped us down for afternoon highs to see 55 for the Springs, 51 for Pueblo, Canyon City 59, Woodland Park 52. But temperatures are likely to rebound as we look into next week, back into those 60s. Thursday a little bit cooler, more seasonal, and also the chance for maybe some mountain snow Wednesday into Thursday. I think we'll stay mostly dry here though. Pueblo by Wednesday, also the chance to flirt with those 70s. Critical fire danger returns by then as well.
It's so cool that Colorado thinks we can just skip winter and go to spring. Thank you, Josephine. A new Republican-backed health care plan is making its way through the House right now, but the plan does not extend Affordable Care Act subsidies, which expire by the end of the year. John Loring reports.
Health care is among the last items on the House of Representatives' agenda for 2025, and it might take a Christmas miracle to get it passed.
The lack of urgency and the lack of care on this issue is so indicative of how disconnected people are from the real-life consequences that people are experiencing because of this.
The Republican-backed proposal unveiled Friday includes expanding the availability of associated health plans to allow employers to join together and buy coverage.
We have the tool in the toolbox to make another unilateral Republican run at reforms that we believe will bring the cost of care down.
It would also fund cost-sharing reduction payments to lower premiums for certain Affordable Care Act enrollees.
We want to give the money to the people and let the people buy their own great health care. And they'll save a lot of money, and it'll be great.
However, the plan doesn't extend enhanced ACA subsidies, which expire on New Year's Eve. If those Obamacare subsidies lapse, some could see their premium payments more than double, according to the KFF Nonpartisan Health Policy Research Group.
Tens of millions of Americans are now about to experience dramatically increased health insurance premiums. That's totally unacceptable.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And coming up in sports, we're taking things to the hardwood, aren't we?
That's right, because the Colorado Buffs are playing, and they were on the road. Actually, they're at home taking on UTSA. They've been killing it to start this season, so we'll have full highlights talking about what they've been doing next in sports.
The Powerball jackpot is more than $1 billion.
This year, Colorado basketball has taken another step. This time last year, they were 7-2 to start the season, and right now, they're 8-1, only losing to Colorado State so far. This team has been led by guard Isaiah Johnson, who is leading in scoring, averaging 15 on 50% from three and from the field. Today, the team was at home taking on UT San Antonio, and it was the first half. Roadrunners turn it over. It's a full court break. Casares retrieves, dumps it to Sebastian, who gets the and one. Alon McKaylee gets it in the post. Weak side, falls asleep, and bang go Dak with the rim attack. He loves that spot. And then Hargis to the corner. He gets it back, fires. Boom. 5-point lead for the Buffs. Playing smart basketball. Isaiah Johnson on the break. Another and one. Tons of contact. Roadrunners try to get it. McKaylee sniffs it out, gives it back, and keeps the effort, beats the defense, and gets the jam on the opposite side. I know coach is going to be yelling at them. Dak on another cut says, watch your head. Colorado wins this one in a blowout, 88-64. In the game, Colorado dominated in all categories. 3-point percentage, just under 40% for them compared to 33% for UTSA. They also won the turnover battle, although 13, still too many turnovers. You got to work on that. Rebounds, they were cleaning the glass, a 16 rebound advantage, and then they got on the break a ton, but the Roadrunners couldn't. They moved to 9-1, being one of the top teams in the Big 12, as well as the Avalanche. They're back on the ice. At home, the team will be at Ball Arena taking on the Nashville Predators. The game starts at 7 p.m. In the last meeting, the Avs took care of business on the road, winning 3-0. Hopefully, they can continue their momentum from their huge win against the Panthers.
Hockey is my sport. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, though. My parents are from Detroit, so I cannot in good faith support the Avalanche.
Come on.
Wow.
But I do love a good Avalanche game. and speaking of things to enjoy, because I can't think of a good transition, check this out. What will probably be the best meteor shower of the year peaks tonight. The Geminids are known for their bright and frequent fireballs. In fact, you could see up to 120 of them each hour. That's 120 wishes per hour. I know what I'm going to wish for. The best time to see the shows between midnight and dawn. Some might be visible as early as 9 p.m. Now, the best way to see them is going to be going out away from city lights, probably heading out east of the Springs. But Josephine, I know we're seeing some fog and clouds. What are viewing conditions like tonight for this?
Tonight, you're probably likely to peek through the fog to maybe see some of those, and it'll be decent temperatures too, above seasonal averages, and that's the trend ahead for us. Plenty of 50s, plenty of 60s, sunshine, dry time by Thursday, cooling off a little bit to feel more seasonal and like December, but that's the only day. Even by Wednesday for Pueblo, almost pushing into those 70s with critical fire danger by then as well. So something to watch over the coming days. Some mountain snow as well in the coming days, but again, that stays in the mountains.
Well, I was telling you before, I want colder temperatures, but I do have to change my oil, so happy to have the warmer temperatures. That's all we have for 11 News at 5:30. We'll see you right back here at 10.